Guess you better slow your Mustang down. All right, listeners, the theme song that gets everybody dancing here in the great state of Nevada and now nationwide. That's right, the show that is heard nationwide. It's Mustang Matters with Lacey J. Dalton, Shannon Wendell, Cindy Hartzell, and today we also have Joann Spotted Bear, a Native American who is joining us on Mustang Matters today. We're going to be talking about several issues that have to do with the American heritage, the Mustang, especially here in the state of Nevada and nationwide. We have several people calling us, joining us in the audience. If you're driving around right now looking, we're at the Reno Town Mall. Come join the audience, get behind the microphone. If you have any questions or comments on Facebook or any other social media, go to America Matters. That's right, americamatters.us, and it does. And click on Facebook, leave that question or comment. Debbie McCarthy will field it with Lacey, Shannon, Cindy, or Joann Spotted Bear. Remember these two numbers to call locally in Nevada. It's 775-827-8900. Toll free. That number is 855-790-TALK. Again, 855-790-8255. Now let's get to the host of Mustang Matters, none other than Lacey J. Dalton.
Hey, good morning, Eddie. How are you?
I'm doing great. Are you kidding me? Look, I'm surrounded by all you beautiful women here on Mustang Matters.
You are. You have been in worse places. Besides this much, I can tell you.
That's right.
Eddie, I'm so happy. Shannon Wendell joining us, co-hosting today. And as you said before, we are so honored today to have a very special guest with us. Her name is Joann Spotted Bear. She is Lakota. She is from the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, and she is here to talk to us about horse slaughter, which she is violently opposed to, both off the reservation and more especially on the reservation. Joann, could you tell us, first of all, about some of the titles that you hold within the Indian nations, and tell us your qualifications. We're speaking out to 40 Indian reservations, American Indian reservations around the country, and we are so pleased to have you on our show today.
Thank you, Lacey. Lacey, before I say anything, I always have to say in my native language first. So, relatives and listeners, I ask you to please bear with me because I have to talk in my own language first, and that's Tokaya Tungashla Wopla Waku. Debia Chumatonia Hebie Chunkpe Opio Matubo. Before anything is said, Lacey, I'd like to thank the Creator first. My Indian name is Bear Woman. My English name is Joann Spotted Bear. I am a descendant of the Little Bighorn, also known as Greasy Grass. I'm a descendant of the Wounded Knee Massacre, 1890. I'm part of the World War I, World War II, and 1973, when AIM went against the federal government. My father was a cop, and he put his gun down, and he could have killed Russell Means, Dennis Banks, or Leonard Peltier, but he didn't. He walked off his job instead. Today, the titles I hold: I am a lay advocate for the Reno Sparks Indian Colony. I am a lay advocate for Fallon Paiute Shoshone Tribe. I am a assistant judge with Rudy James for Winnemucca in Winnemucca, Nevada. I am a Teton Treaty second in the world representative, recognized by the United Nations.
Joann, thank you for telling us that. Could you tell us what the Teton Treaty is, what that means? A lot of us don't know, and we need to be educated. So if you can let us know what that is.
In Lakota, Teton is a description of the Lakota, Nakota, Dakota tribes. Before Christopher Columbus come here, the story is that the Lakota, Nakota, Dakota tribes traveled from East Coast down through Colorado into Canada, up by Alaska, and they followed the buffalo through the seasons. Wherever the buffalo was, that was where the Teton was. That's how you know that.
Thank you, and that is the Lakota, Nakota, and Dakota American Indians are known to us generally as the Sioux tribes.
Yes, the Sioux, in the way I understand Sioux is Sioux means snake, and it was a German word, and it was translated in many different languages. And Lakota is the people, or Lakota Oyate is the scribe of the people. And we were never know what Sioux was. It was just when somebody come along, they say, "You're a Sioux," and you go, "Oh, okay, thank you."
White people talk for Lakota, Dakota, and Dakota from pretty much North and South Dakota. You guys are pretty much, I mean, I know you're other places, but that's pretty much the Standing Rock Reservation and Pine Ridge are the two main reservations for you people. Is that so, or not?
Canada, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Oklahoma, and parts of Wyoming.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Can you tell us, Joann, we are all concerned here at this table with the current popularity worldwide of fillet of baby horse and the current push toward, in Washington by some parties, toward slaughtering, the slaughter of American horses. We know that 70% of the people in the United States, 76% I think by the latest polls, are against horse slaughter in the United States for many reasons. Can you speak to this? I know this is why you're here today. Tell me how some of your people are feeling about this issue.
On behalf of my grandmothers and grandfathers in Pine Ridge, and the ones I do talk to, our indigenous people hate the fact of horse slaughter, period. And to eat a horse is even worse. And we make jokes because even the Queen of England got gastritis eating horse. And that's a true fact, you know, it went worldwide, that gastritis did, you know, so.
From horse meat?
Yeah, they called it a delicacy, if you remember correct, it hit the news.
Yes, we know that, and we do also know that our horses are full of, and I think Cindy Hartzell, who's here with us, hi Cindy. Cindy came in a little bit late today. It's great to see you. Cindy is a vet tech with a lot of experience with these things, and she can tell us a little bit about the butte and the wormers and what they actually do with horse meat.
Yeah, they're something that we in America use on our horses all the time to help them live comfortable lives. We ask them to do a lot of different modalities and athletic things, and to help them live longer, healthier lives, we give them bute, and we give them dewormers, and we give them vaccines. So I wouldn't recommend eating them at all.
Well, we know, Cindy, that these things don't break down. We do know that they cause aplastic anemia and even spina bifida. And at this moment, I believe, I may be mistaken, but I believe the European Union is refusing to buy our horse meat at this point.
They are, and I think it's a good decision on behalf of their citizens. It's not a safe practice to eat this tainted meat, and I certainly wouldn't want to be feeding it to my children.
You know, and we also know that here in the United States, most of the horses that go to slaughter come from irresponsible breeders. Quarter horse breeders are the worst offenders, irresponsible ones, the ones that have to breed 100 to get 2 new ones. And next are the thoroughbred racing horses, and the third are walking horses. A very small percentage is the old Dobbin at the farm who, needs to be put down. We don't have any place to put him.
It's sad to see, Lacey. I've been reading in the newspaper lately and on all the different social media. There seems to be more and more individuals popping up who all of a sudden had 3 or 4 horses, and now they have 300 untouched, domestic, overbred horses. And I kind of wonder, well, how does that happen?
Cindy, you of all people. Shannon, you of all people. I have to say, Shannon, explain to us. Shannon is here, Shannon and Cindy are both representing the Hidden Valley Group, who are the group who are hands-on, who have rescued 175 horses from our own Department of Agriculture to save them from the terrible fate of slaughter. Tell us all.
Yeah, Hidden Valley is used to be a small charitable organization looking out for the Virginia Range horses on the slopes of the Virginia Range outside of Reno. Last year, the Department of Agriculture did a sweep and removed 149 of our beautiful Virginia Range wild horses. We certainly, I don't know how we did it, but we got funding to buy all of those beautiful horses. And in the interim, about at least to date, 30 of them turned out to be pregnant, and we have 30 gorgeous, beautiful, gorgeous little babies on the hive every single day. So we have lots of mouths to feed. That is one
Shannon,
way
what are
that
we
somebody
gonna-
gets a lot of horses at one time.
Thank you. And what are we gonna do with these little babies?
Oh, all these horses are up for adoption. We have a website, www.wildhorseadoption.org. We continue to put new horses on there, get pictures, log them. They're all available for adoption. We're starting a terrific partnership between Horse Plus Humane Society out of Oroville, California. We're going to adopt out 20 horses to some terrific natural horsemanship trainers who will take those horses away for 6 months, work with them, train them, gentle them, make them wonderful human companions, and then they're going to come back to a location that we still have to decide in about March, and they'll have a wonderful challenge, and we'll talk about that shortly.
When we come back.
Break.
That's right, right after the break. Listeners, this is Mustang Matters, heard nationally now. That's right, get involved. Call us locally if you happen to be in northern Nevada. That number is 775-827-8900. Toll free, it's 855-790-8255. Plus, remember, if you want to join us, we're at the Reno Town Mall, where you can meet LACY Dalton, you can meet Joann Spotted Bear, Cindy Hartzell, and Shannon Wendell. We will be right back. Smooth. We have a caller. Is that the 4-H caller, or do we know?
That's Margie?
Margot.
Margot?
Okay. 4-H.
Do we know who Mark?
Margot is a...
With the 4-H
Yes,
group, the
the
Cowboy
Yeah, Cowboy Challenge.
Challenge on the 27th. Not really sure what that is. Is it going on?
It's a
or
ride.
are
It's
they
a trail
going to?
ride.
Okay,
Oh, it's
and
a
technically
trail
we should do that in the second half hour, because the first half hour is Fox and the 27th is Saturday, so this will air after
Do
it.
me a favor, have her call back
Okay.
after this.
Actually, you can talk to her
See, I'm
right
gonna
there.
package this show for
Talk-
Fox. That's
Right.
what we-
Talk to her really quick, you
Okay.
can tell her.
Hey, sweetheart, could you do me a favor? Call back in about 12 to 15 minutes so I can get you on the third segment, okay? I wanna put you in that third segment so we can get callers and people in the audience asking questions too, okay? Thank you, dear. Sure, bye-bye.
And we have a question. We'd like to bring Joann back in. She's gonna bring Joann back in, but we wanna make sure that Joann's portion is on the,
Native voice?
Native voice.
Oh, the whole hour's on native voice.
Oh, all right, so we're cool, all
Yeah,
right.
we're cool.
We're on
It's
native
Fox I'm
voice?
concerned with. Fox is the
I just
one I'm-
didn't realize. we were
Native
on.
voice
Oh,
one.
Nola just, matter of fact, Nola, who's in charge, just emailed me 2 seconds ago, okay, and right here. And,
Happy to hear Joann on the radio.
I bet that was.
Tell her, because that'll.
She'll like that.
Nola,
that
her
was
name is
cool.
Nola Moses, and she runs Native Voice One radio station.
And she's
Nola
happy you're
Moses.
on.
Yeah, and she's real pleased that you're on set with us today.
Hold on.
We want you to be a regular if you can be.
Yes, I only live, like maybe 3 miles. The only thing I have problems with is gas, that's the only thing.
No worries.
Nola what? Nola what?
Moses. Nola Moses, so Native Voice One. I'll give you the
You guys
contact.
can
Okay, Shannon, can I come back to you
It's
then?
amazing that somebody's talking about you're saying not
1 minute back, everybody.
And remember, we're live, we want to push tonight too. We want to push tonight.
No, Jason, that's
Not-
your second.
Not in the third, yeah.
Third, yeah, not-
Second half of the show, after the Fox.
Third and fourth segment, we push tonight.
Yeah, because the first half through 11:30 goes to Fox after the fact, so we don't want to play it on Saturday or
I'm trying to get
Sunday.
us on as many radio stations as possible to create donations.
I have about 45,000 people on Facebook, with 5 web pages.
Have them all send her I'll have each one of them send her $1.
30 seconds.
I don't know if they'll do that. They don't send me 50 cents, but I'll try.
But you know what, you can send them all out that you're gonna be
Here we go,
on
stand by.
elected.
Okay.
10. 5.
All right, ladies, we've got to stop dancing and get back to the table and do a radio talk show. This is Mustang Matters, now heard nationwide as well as on our Fox News affiliate in the great state of Nevada. That's 99.1 FM Talk. It's with LACY Dalton, Cindy Hartzell. We also have a very special co-host with us from now on. That's Joann Spotted Bear and also Shannon Wendell.
Thank you, Eddie. And Joann, we're just so pleased that you're here. I just want to finish up with our special extreme rescue makeover event. It's going to be held, the final challenge is going to be held in March. We're still defining where that will take place, but it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's wonderful to see how these horses were wild and then come back 6 months later. They're beautifully trained, they're gentle, they're just Carl Cool breezes. And coming back to the original question, how did we get all these horses? We jumped in along with thousands of other people to rescue these horses that we knew were headed for slaughter. Because there's nobody out at the Fallon auction buying horses to keep them.
Right.
And now this is a hot topic across the United States. There's a horse slaughter plant that has received a permit to reopen in New Mexico. Iowa is getting permits. USDA is obligated at this point to assign those permits. Come on, people, we gotta stop this.
And you know, so glad you said that, Cindy, and here's why, because even Kelly, you know, who is assistant for us here on Mustang Matters, has made contact with Robert Redford and also the past governor of, you know, New Mexico to have them on Mustang Matters here in the very near future. I'll tell you why, because they stepped up. They stepped up to the plate.
They're there. This week it came out in the news, Robert Redford has started an organization to help fight horse slaughter in this country, along with former governor of New Mexico, Richardson, the current governor, I think her name is Governor Martinez. She is against it. The Attorney General is against it. Everybody's fighting it. Nobody wants it.
Right.
This is not an American value. It doesn't matter your nationality, your creed, right?
Right. I'd like to say thank you, you know, that's good. I am really happy as a Tioshpaye, a Lakota Tioshpaye, to see people from around the world stepping up. But this, first I have to say this, and I have to say it right. And so give me a minute just to catch my breath to say it right. Here it goes. 300 million of our Indian people have died. This land is still under treaties. Treaties are notoriously known around the world. In the federal rules of regulations, treaties are supreme law of the land. If you look on the internet in the chronicle list of treaties, the Oglala Sioux Tribe, Fort Laramie treaties are mentioned in there. If you look in 1850 or 1831, 1851, 1868, treaties are there. The United States government was doing business with Oliver Red Cloud, and Chief Red Cloud gave up his treaty rights in 1874 and was not supposed to be doing any business with the federal government whatsoever at all, but because he did not know how to read, they illegally went to the United Nations and was in the United Nations. So as of right now, in the last 3 weeks, I've been talking to the United Nations and sending them the chronicle list of treaties. This here document, if you want to look at it, it is from the United Nations, and we are going to try to correct this using law. The states are using what is called copywritten laws. So if you ever notice in grade school, high school, junior high, high school, college, only some universities upon request, treaties are taught, and that is law.
You know, well said, Joann. I tell you what, Lacey, I don't know about you, but looking back in history, perhaps I wish our Native Americans would have had a little better control of their borders, okay? You know, maybe we wouldn't be faced with the wild horse problem that we're faced with today.
Absolutely. Joann, tell us about horses on the reservations and how they're treated and what you want to do, what do you want to see?
First off, I have an auntie whose name is Bernice Whitehawk, and our people love horses, and their horses have been stolen and sent to the slaughter. And our tribal council, because of the $2.64 billion of embezzlement in Pine Ridge and the two land documents running side by side, the Oglala Sioux tribe wants to slaughter horses in Wounded Knee. And then they want to sell Wounded Knee, and Johnny Depp wants to buy it. But because land is not for sale, I reported that to the United Nations. And I asked President Brian Brewer, please don't sell Wounded Knee, please don't have horse slaughter there, because I am talking to the United Nations. And you know, the story is real deep past horses, because we have children who are branded with a machete, just like in horses. Maybe not, you know, maybe a horse don't use a machete, but they're branded with the letters TBZ. And the latest was a little girl, and she was branded on her back. And so, yes, this problem that we are talking about is very deep. It runs very, I can't really put it into words, but notoriously just runs through my blood, a lot of pain. And so, I'm sorry.
We understand that many American Indians are not for horse slaughter. They almost think of it, you people almost think of it as cannibalism. It is abhorrent to most traditional Indians. However, it is my understanding that there are actually persons in our houses of representatives in certain states who are pushing to put slaughter on reservations, which I think is a terrible abuse, not only of the horses, but most especially of the American Indians. Why should we put this dirty work that 70% of us are completely opposed to, which is really a very wasteful, filthy business. Americans don't eat this meat, but we have all the waste that comes from it. Why put that on your people? It's a terrible abuse of your people. I really think it should be illegal.
I brought that up to the United Nations, and I asked for the death penalty and $630 billion of neglect of treaties, because this is our land and the horses do belong to the traditional people. We never ate these horses, and you're right. Anybody who eats these horses, they get sick. And I know that a lot of people can't use names, okay? But as a law advocate, as a Teton Treaty representative, and coming from Wounded Knee, we always blame the white people for killing our people. I got documents from a lawyer in Washington, and this particular person's name came up, and this is how it worked. Sue Wallace signed brought up a resolution. She never put her name to it. And when she drew this resolution, she sent it to National Congress for American Indians. And National Congress for American Indians never brought it up in their meetings. However, the resolution was signed. And then they're saying that Sue Wallace is taking credit for that. So what I asked for is that, you asked me, how can you help me, right, Lacey?
How can we help you? What can we
Okay,
do?
well, what I'd like to do is, as I talk to the United Nations, as I talk to Washington DC, and as I talk to you, I would like to have a benefit concert for the wild horses. And how this is gonna help is, this benefit concert, I want National Congress to come back. I want Washington DC there. I want the Teton Treaty Council there. I'd like to have United Nations there. I'd like to have you there, and we're gonna confront the issue. because treaties are supreme law of the land. And it took 300 million Indians to die to get to this far. And for our people to die, then turn around, kill our buffalo, and think you're gonna kill our horse and make us eat it too, then that's wrong. That's just wrong.
You are
Absolutely.
so right.
Absolutely.
You are so right.
You know, and I think I have a name for that concert. How about the Let 'em Run concert? Let's call it the Let 'em Run.
I think we can
okay?
do this.
I think we can too, Shannon.
People
And
told me I couldn't get all these horses and keep them. We got them.
you got
We're
them.
moving
They're being
forward.
kept, and I can assure you
We're moving forward.
that
We
it's
can do this.
people like you on the panel today here on Mustang Matters that truly are making a difference. When I say Let 'em Run, yes, that's the name of a very, very popular album that was sung by Lacy J. Dalton, but also it's the name of her organization. I'm going to have her give the information on how you can get a hold of the Let 'em Run Foundation. And Shannon, I want you to give the information how they can get involved with Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund. Lacy?
Well, thank you, Eddie. If you want to contact us at Let 'em Run, you can very easily go to letemrun.com or .org, I believe. And, or you can call me at 775-847-7322.
Wow, that's your
And
home
we-
number.
It is my home number, and we support Hidden Valley 100%.
Thank you, Lacey. You know, we couldn't do this by ourselves. We are a banded group of wild horse advocates. There's over 50 groups. We are just one, and we couldn't do what we do without our local network. We're at www.hiddenvalleyhorses.com.
Wow, thank you very much, Shannon. Wendell, Lacy, just running out of time here, I've got to tell everybody right now that if you are listening on 99.1 FM Talk, our Fox News affiliate, this wraps up our Mustang Matters for this week. Please come join us every Wednesday now at 11 a.m. For those of you listening on the other radio stations nationwide, we want you to absolutely stay in your seat. We will be right back. I'm sorry, I noticed we were out of time.
Mr. Smoot, I was just
I
gonna
wanted to plug
Hello.
I wanted to-
Hello, Dalton girls.
I wanted to.
Look, the Dalton
Look at
girls are
there.
nodding.
Oh, we can talk about it. I want you, they're going to adopt a horse.
And you're
And so, like, two horses. But I want you to talk, I want you to
have your voice on there.
sponsoring program. Because it's
Thank you.
really
Thank you.
important.
It's
Really
No,
nice.
it's very
And then we'll go
touching.
back
Well, I think we need to
Joann.
get
Let's
Cheryl
talk
Crow
about
and all of it.
Yeah.
We need to have it a
Well, you
huge
know,
fest.
She's actually in town, isn't she?
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called her, I asked her to do the PSA that Willie finally did for me, and Snoop Dogg, and
I
no
want to be
response.
Snoop Dogg.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, no, well, first her manager said, oh, she'd love to do
Now,
this.
Snoop Dogg
Then
is
I
a
called
Native
6 more
American.
times and never did.
Lacy, Snoop Dogg's a Native American name, isn't it?
It is, yes. It's spotted Snoop
Yeah,
Dogg.
spotted Snoop
They're very
I
rare,
thought-
that's his Indian name.
Dogg. Very, very
Eddie,
rare.
Eddie, I thought Snoop Dogg was a code name for NSA.
No such agency.
I want to talk to you about how to achieve this work coffee. First,
How about Central Park?
French coffee coffee beans are also the key to it. First,
Lacey?
coffee.
And Margot's back on the phone too.
Oh, Margaret's back there. Okay. 4-H, Cindy, Cindy, you want to run with the 4-H thing?
I don't know much about it, but I can
Let
try.
me pull it up.
Do you want me to read it aloud?
The Stagecoach
Yeah,
4-H
just
community club, they're trying to get July
Today,
27th, or do they have?
No, they're trying to.
To get it designated as a National American Cowboy Day, and they're
We'll
wanting
talk,
to
we'll
promote
talk to her on
fundraising.
that. We'll talk to her on this break then, right now.
Yeah.
We'll talk to her.
Like that word?
So I see what they're doing, they're trying to get that designated and having a challenge day on this, she did, that was that highlighted. She sent it via email, Buckaroo Obstacle Challenge, I love
Talk to her obstacle
Buckaroo.
challenge is what Debbie goes through.
I do go through Buckaroo often.
Cindy?
I'm trying to kick them
Buckaroo
over.
challenge is what Debbie goes through every night.
I'm trying to,
Obstacle, Buckaroo obstacle.
Joanne asked me to
trying to
read this
find
to
a
you,
real
and
one.
she'd like to.
Real
I'm
quick.
trying to.
1 minute back, everybody, 1 minute.
You got something to read, Lace?
Joann has asked me to read
They're
this.
not all they're cut out.
I had no idea.
No, really.
This is-
I'll take any nice guy.
This is a total surprise to me.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
What's the total story?
You know,
That the United States was at one time completely, the federal government was dissolved by the Emergency Banking Act.
30
And
seconds.
so all the treaties that were before that should still stay. It's my understanding that we have never kept a single treaty with the
Not
American
No, they
Indians.
did, that's where this one comes in.
20 seconds.
With
How
Red
many,
Cloud.
how many
That
did
was
you
the
say?
Here we go.
Did you say 300,000?
Stand by.
Yeah.
10 seconds. Here we go. 5.
All right, listeners, you certainly know what that theme song means. Another segment of Mustang Matters. Come join us. If you're driving around, we're at the Reno Town Mall. You can even sit right next to the Dalton girls there in the audience here, and you can get behind the microphone anytime you want with any comments that you have as well. Remember Facebook. That's americamatters.us. Learn all about the Let 'em Run Foundation, the Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund, and also Willis Lamb and his wonderful organization. Those three are being pushed today on Mustang Matters, and I'll tell you what, we have a very special guest on right now who has called in on our toll-free number. That's 855-790-8255, and I believe it's the Stagecoach 4-H Community Club. Is that right, dear?
Yes, it is.
And your name?
My name is Margot Beasley, and I'm the leader of the 4-H Club.
Well, good for you, Margot. Thanks for calling in to Mustang Matters. Tell us what's going on right now and how it's going to help our Native American wild horses right here, the famous Nevada Mustangs.
Well, we're putting on a American Competitive Trail Horse Association Cowboy Trail Challenge this July 27th, and a Buckaroo obstacle course on July 28th for Horses for Heroes. And the Horses for Heroes is a program that was started in Las Vegas, and their program is they're there to help serve the military and first responders. They're actually a nationwide program now, but it was started in Las Vegas by Cindy Mott. And what they do is it's a non-profit organization for military personnel, veterans, first responders, and their families.
You know, Margot, I'm going to jump in real quick right now and segue over to one of the hosts, Cindy Hartzell, because, Cindy, this is exactly what you were telling me a couple of weekends ago at the Wainema Ranch Wild Horse Sanctuary, where the Hidden Valley horses are located presently. That's what you were talking about, what a big upheaval is taking place with equine therapy, and I believe that's what this Horses for Heroes, helping the veterans, is all about, right?
I believe it is. It's really something that's very exciting that we're being able to bring these heroes home and match them up with horses who are heroes in their own right. Many have been abused, many have been performance horses that were deemed too old and given to these therapy organizations that bring the heroes and the horses together, and some real magical healing takes place when a man touches a horse.
You know, Lacey, I don't think anybody's ever said it better than you have. You know, and Cindy looked right at me when she said old horses put out to pasture, but you know, you did tell me one time what's, you know, good, what's good for, how.
Well, I mean, this is kind of a paraphrase of what Cindy said, but the old cowboys here in Nevada always say, and I've learned that it's very true, the outside of a horse is good for the inside of a man.
Wow. Margot, what say you?
Well, I agree with that. But, you know, something I think we forget that families serve and suffer too. Whether they're coping with frequent deployments or an injured spouse or trying to accept the post-traumatic stress disorder, the invisible wounds of war. Our program uses the Horses for Heroes program uses horses to help families reconnect and get reacquainted. And as much as possible, they use rescue horses. So they're doing, you know, good things, two good things at once. They're helping to save maybe somebody's soul and the soul of a horse too. And it's a wonderful organization. They're, like I said, nationwide. Unfortunately, they're not very big up here in northern Nevada. My facility is one, and also Reno Ride is one, but that's about it.
Well,
And
there's
we'd
a-
like to see more facilities. It's very easy to become a facility. We'd like to see more volunteers for Voices for Heroes.
You know, Margot,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So you go ahead.
I just wanted to let you know that there will be another one in the future. Hidden Valley is planning on bringing their wild Mustangs out to help the heroes and their families. There's no better horse that understands what these military families and these military personnel are going through than our wild horses. They have been ripped from their land, their homes, their families, their routines. They're not only some physically injured, but many that are emotionally injured. So it is one of our dreams is to bring that program to Hidden Valley Sanctuary with our wild Mustangs. So we will keep in touch and we will share with you our progress.
Boy, well said, Cindy. Margot, tell us your contact information so that people can get involved with this event here.
Well, they can go to www.actha.us to sign up for the ride. They do have to sign online. I can't take anybody that just shows up because this is a sanctioned ride, and so we have to follow strict rules that they have. But it's really easy to sign up. The cost is anywhere from $25 to $50. Quite a portion of that goes back to the Horses for Heroes, and of course the 4-H kids get a lot of good experience helping out with this, and learning how to be, it's really empowered them as both as horsemen and also as people in general.
Wow. Margot, I want to thank you for all that you're doing, and thank you for calling in to Mustang Matters. And again, we want to tell everybody to get involved. Go to actha.us. That's actha.us. Sign up for this unbelievable event. You cannot go wrong. Margot, thanks for being a part of Mustang Matters.
One more thing.
Sure, go
One
ahead.
more thing. I do want to tell everybody out there who owns a Mustang that they can ride, and if they think it's a good trail horse, there is a $100 cash award for the highest placing Mustang rider combo. There's also an award for getting the best Wild West costume. We all just get up, and an award for the best buckaroo outfit. So hopefully we'll get buckaroos, Wild West, and wild horses out there.
All right, Margot. Thanks again for calling in to Mustang Matters. Listeners, you get a hold of Margot. Let's get back to right now, Lacey J. Dalton.
Hey, Eddie, thank you. And we are, again, going to acknowledge our very special guest today. We are so fortunate to have here with us Lakota from Pine Ridge. And her name is Joann Spotted Bear. Joann has asked me to read something that I had this has really blew my mind, Joann. I don't know anything about this, but I'll let you explain once I read it. This is a document about the bankruptcy of the United States. It is an established fact that the United States federal government has been dissolved by the Emergency Banking Act, March 9, 1933, 48 Stat 1 Public Law 89-719, declared by President Roosevelt, being bankrupt and insolvent. HJR 192, 73rd Congress, M Session, June 5, 1933. Hope you haven't all lost consciousness. Joint resolution to suspend the gold standard and abrogate the gold clause, dissolve the sovereign authority of the United States in the official capacities of all United States governmental officers and departments, and is further evidence that the United States federal government exists today in name only. Please explain, Joann. I thought we were solved, and I thought we were all right here. I knew we were on the edge and having a tough time. So please explain.
All section codes and clauses were turned over to the United Nations. That means treaties are supreme law of the land. Land is not for sale anywhere in the world, but when they keep the truth from the people, you wind up buying something that is not technically yours. That money was the greatest fraud ever to be invented, and to bring out the Constitution and hide the treaties was the next greatest invention. And when I told you about Red Cloud, first I have to tell you, Oliver Red Cloud died last week. And he is not a chief. We as Oglala Lakota Tioshbaye do not recognize Red Cloud as being a chief. We recognized him as a sellout. And the United States wrote him in as a paper chief to keep him in business so the 5% rich can claim this land as theirs and the rest of us pay taxes. And meanwhile, so long as there's a dead, how's the saying go? As long as there's, or no, the best Indian is a dead Indian. And
Joann, this treaty, these treaties, do your treaties actually forbid the slaughter of horses?
the reality of that story is no, but the reality of the story of the treaties, land is ours.
I see.
All right, and it's the Native American, AKA American Indian, who is doing everything they can on reservations, Lacey, to try to stop the slaughter of the wild horses.
The traditional Indians are against the slaughter. Unfortunately, there is a cadre of non-traditional people, and Joann, speak to that.
Yes, we have what is called the half-breeds versus the traditional. The half-breeds are a mixture of white and Indian. And the story between the white and the Indian was a long time ago. The president, he told the Indian about this little white baby. And he said, that little white baby don't mean nothing to us, so long as it has a drop of blood, Indian blood in it. And the Indian, he said, as long as that baby has a drop of Indian blood in it, that baby belonged to us. And then the white man, he said, that baby with a drop of Indian blood is worth than beep beep.
Wow, okay. On that note, I'll tell you what, let's beep beep.
Sounds like wartime right there.
Yeah, wait, let me.
What we gotta do is go to a break.
Okay,
Joann.
okay.
That's Joann Spotted Bear. We invite you to come join the audience right now. Besides the Dalton girls, I notice world famous Kim Surratt of Surratt Law has joined the audience. Come join, get behind the microphone, and remember, any questions you have about wild Mustangs here in Nevada or anywhere nationwide, now is the time to do it, because we're not only heard on stations in Nevada, we're now heard nationwide, coast to coast, border to border, and we will be right back.
Team was Alexandra and Steve of Chase International Real Estate.
What I wanted to say
Hey,
was
Hello, my dear. Let me show you
Kim.
this so you'll have a little idea. This is what we're kind of the first half hour.
and that's what
Hello,
they were
Herb.
gonna tell
How are ya?
the white government. These
Good,
babies,
drop that off. Give it to Sean or me or somebody.
no matter how you look at them. That was
Okay, so you just want me to email this to you as soon as I'm done?
Yes, and that's what
Okay.
they told the government, but the government.
Herb, how you doing?
Have a big thing going on here,
Yeah, every day.
Actually, Sean wants to go into the
Depends.
Are you still doing the promotion?
Yeah, we're gonna redo this.
No,
Can you send an email? Because
I'll email.
Oh,
When is your deadline for the next issue?
For a little bit the second half hour, and then it's the next
we have to
hour.
print, maybe even before that.
Okay.
We have to print, so I have to have it pretty soon.
Okay. I'll be into you before the 10th.
So whatever you have, maybe make some copies, so I'll have, see if you can make copies.